Imagine you finally buy the sports car of your dreams. Let's say it's a Ferrari. You pull off the lot, head for the highway, and finally get the chance to open it up. The engine starts to roar, the wind starts rushing past, and then a warning light appears. Low battery. Suddenly, the power you've been waiting for isn't there anymore. That exact scenario isn't playing out on a Formula One circuit. But for F1 drivers in 2026, it feels a lot like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about that as well with the team, and I've seen the data and already on the simulator as well. It to me, it looks pretty terrible.
Not because their engine is broken, not because they're trying to save fuel, but because they're running out of battery power halfway down the straight. Welcome to Formula One in 2026. If you ask most Formula One fans what changed in 2026, they'd probably say the active aerodynamics. Or maybe, if they're really into the sport, they'd mention the smaller cars. But the biggest change is one we can't even see. Now, Formula One running hybrid power units is old news. For years, a gasoline engine produced most of the car's power, while electric motors gave the driver a little extra boost when they needed it. As late as 2025, that electric motor only contributed about 160 horsepower. The rest, good old-fashioned gasoline. But in 2026, that balance changes dramatically. The electric motor more than doubles in power to nearly 470 horsepower. At the same time, the gasoline engine produces less than before. For the first time in Formula One history, the car's power is split almost evenly between gasoline and electricity. Now, most of us will look at how quick modern electric cars have become and think, okay, so what? Well, there's one problem. Electricity isn't unlimited. Unlike gasoline, a battery has to be constantly recharged and constantly managed. And that's where things begin to fall apart.
Easily leave it behind. Ill. I'm a bit sick.
Throughout the past several years, we have all heard the term regenerative braking. Consumer electric cars use this to prolong their battery life and to give drivers more range. It's basically what sets each car apart. That exact technology is what the new F1 power unit utilizes. Every time a driver accelerates, the battery begins to drain. When they brake, the system captures some of that energy back. Then the cycle repeats. Except it's not a Tesla. It's a machine that goes 200 miles per hour, and the cars use electricity much faster than they can regenerate. On shorter straights, it's no big deal. But on circuits with long, full throttle sections, the battery can be depleted before the driver reaches the braking zone, which means the electric motor stops delivering maximum power. The car suddenly has less performance, even though the driver has it pinned. Imagine chasing another car with DRS open. You're gaining, you're closing, you pull into the slipstream, you're ready to make the pass, and then poof, your battery runs out. The overtake is over, not because of a mistake, but because your engine stopped providing power. So the obvious question is then, why? Why in the hell would Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsports, intentionally create an engine that can't use all of its power? Well, the answer really has nothing to do with racing. Over the past several years, there has been a massive push towards greener technology. Solar, wind, electric vehicles, sustainable fuels, entire industries are changing. And one of the biggest is the automotive industry. Manufacturers are investing billions into electric technology, battery development, and sustainable fuels. Formula One wanted to evolve alongside them. The thinking was simple. If Formula One develops technology that's relevant to the manufacturers, those manufacturers are far more likely to stay invested in the sport. And to be fair, it worked. Audi joined Formula One, Ford returned, Honda reversed course and decided to stay, Cadillac committed to entering the sport. From a business standpoint, the regulations did exactly what Formula One hoped they would. But solving one problem may have created another. Because unlike the family SUV sitting in your driveway, a Formula One car spends lap after lap flat out. It asks far more from its battery than today's road cars will ever ask. Which means the battery becomes less of a performance boost and more of a performance limiter. And that's where the driver comes in. For decades, Formula One has been about driving the car at its limit at all times. Who has the most guts to brake later, carry more speed, then pound the throttle sooner? Push every chance you get. Now, there's another question every driver has to ask. Can I afford to? Can I afford to use the battery now, or should I save it? Can I afford to attack this lap, or should I save that energy to defend the next one? Instead of racing other cars, they're racing, well, their own battery. And that's exactly why the 2026 regulations have become so controversial.
Or the battery.
Yeah, I came out of turn one, I had no power. And I got to the top of a rouge with 0% battery, and I was going slower than a Formula 2 car, and I got overtaken by 3 drivers.
Where drivers once focused on finding tenths, they're now focused on managing energy. Because in 2026, it's not about driving the fastest lap. It's about making sure you have the power to finish it. So, what now? Should we all just be patient? The drivers, the teams, even us, the fans? We do know one thing. Formula One has always evolved. Turbochargers, ground effect, hybrid engines. Every generation has changed what it means to be fast. The 2026 cars are no different. The question isn't whether they'll be quick. They will be, incredibly quick. The real question is, what kind of racing they'll produce, and what that means for us, watching every Sunday. Will drivers adapt and prove everyone wrong? Or will battery management become just as important as outright speed? We'll find out soon enough, but one thing is certain. If you see a Formula One driver lifting halfway down a straight in 2026, it won't be because they ran out of courage. It'll be because they ran out of a battery. And perhaps, the real question Formula One should be asking itself is, how much should the driver have to manage before they stop simply racing?